It's taken a while to get Kay Walsh, my partner in crime, to do her Just One Quilt story, but I finally managed to pin her down this week, and I'm very pleased that she's going to tell you about her quilting journey.
Quilting's a massive part of my life. I mean, you know, it started off as something that was just maybe a little bit of a hobby and a really nice way to hang out with friends, and obviously now it's turned into a job as well, which is brilliant, and I love it. And yeah, I can't see it stopping. We met at dancing, and I can't remember why. We must have just got talking about sewing, or the fact that I'd done a bit of sewing and you'd obviously sewed, and I'd said me and this friend were wanting to do a bit more, maybe learn how to quilt, and I think you just kind of said, well, I can teach you how to quilt. So we all came to your house and hung out.
We did.
Yeah.
That was years ago, wasn't it?
Years ago, yes.
In the cold conservatory.
Really cold, or really hot conservatory.
If I was allowed to put the underfly heater down.
Yeah. This quilt is probably the first proper quilt that I made, or I feel like it was. So after I decided to come to learn with you, and I think that was the point maybe then where I started looking at fabrics properly. And at the time, you must have said there was this designer, Anila Hui, out there, and we found some of their fabrics, I think, online. And I really loved them. I think that was kind of a real nice, oh look, yeah, you can make something out of nice things. And I wanted to make something for my daughter. And then I really wanted to have a go at free motion quilting and try and do a bit of an all over stipply thing. But I was a bit frightened about doing that. So we had a plan, and you'd told me that I needed to have a glass of wine before I did it. So we did. I'm guessing we maybe did it one evening, maybe not during the day. And had a bit of a glass of wine, tried to make the shoulders go down a bit, and then just went for it. And actually, you know, it worked out all right. It's maybe not the best free motion quilting in the world, but it worked. The back ended up being pieced slightly randomly because I think I did my usual trick of not quite measuring how much fabric I needed, but I quite like the way it turned out with some different bits and bobs in. So I think my friends would say I quite like a rule, and like my friend Helen in particular always used to joke when we first started quilting that it was fine as long as if I followed the rules, I felt like it was okay. So maybe that's why I liked quilting, because I felt like if I did do what they said, I would come out with something at the end. So I think I felt like I wasn't creative enough to just come up with something.
When we tap dance together, you kind of know what to do, don't you? And follow the rules, and have learnt it methodically over many years.
Yes.
And then you kind of help me figure it out. And I think probably in quilting, it's pretty much the same thing.
I suppose I am quite methodical in that sense of just, thinking things through. Whereas, and I don't feel like I've got that creativity necessarily. And I think it comes back to what somebody else said, I think Alice said in one of her films, doesn't mean you're not creative, it's a different way of, but I don't have those like ideas like you have, but I can make things happen.
And I think like in our friendship, I don't know, there's certain fabrics kind of punctuate little times in our life.
Definitely.
Like for me, this is meeting, we used to meet every week, didn't we? Once we'd done that initial quilt course, I had baby Ellis in tow sometimes, but at a friend's house, and have a tea and cake and just sew, didn't we? And these fabrics
definitely reminds me of that.
Like 10 years ago, whatever it is, isn't it? Something like that.
Yeah, absolutely, definitely. Some of these fabrics are just so nostalgic in that sense. I think that's why I still love them as well.
Yeah. The good old days.
Yeah.
When we weren't quite so stressed and making books and sewing crazy quilts.
Just sew and eat cake.
There was no work involved. It was good, wasn't it?
It was.
The glory years.
When do I quilt? I quilt when I'm not as too busy doing other things. Obviously, I quilt at work, and we teach people to quilt. But I haven't made loads of quilts for myself. I still haven't made one for my bed yet. I'm partway through one, and I will finish it. I love looking at quilts. I love looking at other people's quilts. I really enjoy looking at historic quilts. I think it's amazing that there's so many different ones out there, and that there's this history that goes with it, which the more I find out about, I think is just fascinating. And I think having that thing, the physical thing that you can give to somebody as a gift, is such a nice thing to be able to do. But I also think for me, one of the big things about quilting is the friendship that it's brought into my life, and that, you know, I've been able to have these bunch of friends that we quilt together, and we go away together sometimes, which is amazing. And then the people that we've met in the studio since we've been teaching, and helping them on their journey is like a real privilege as well, just to be able to maybe teach them a little bit of something that I've learned along the way. I really love that.